right. Welcome in. Hope you're doing all right tonight. As you can see, I have tweaked the layout some. I was kind of bugged by how much the webcam was like interfering with the game. So I decided on a compromise and see how that works. Yeah. Let me know how the stream goes. I ended up switching back to my old wireless adapter. Because in the process of fighting with the new one, as it kept having issues, I realized that my router had some configuration issues, and when I fixed those configuration issues, the old wireless card started working a lot better. Apparently, that wireless card is just really susceptible to interference. So hopefully, now that all that seems to be working better, the stream is robust, because we're streaming at pretty high quality at this point, and I'm not seeing any frame drops reported in OBS, but that's not necessarily conclusive. But anyway, let's jump back in and get a little bit done in Act 2. I also was playing around and added a third monitor, and it's not happy at the moment. It keeps going in and out. So I'm not sure if it's because it's an old monitor. I don't know if it's just trying to die or if it's the adapter that I've got it plugged into. I don't know yet. So, but that's yeah, fancy yet angry third monitor. So that's going to be a post-stream battle. But for the moment, let's see if we can make some progress on Act 2. Game audio coming in 3, 2, 1 now. Unfortunately, we don't get to save these additional settings. You have to set them each time with this mod because the save system's not modified. Into the mansion. Really good at 3x. So one thing is this mirror that wasn't there before is here now, and that's sort of a hint to a mechanic that I believe is mentioned in the manual, but it's never explained to you in the game. If you open up your Game Boy Horror camera and take a picture of a mirror, it will teleport you back here to the lobby. That comes in really handy at one specific point in the game. Alright. So if we pull up our map, we can see that the only open door is back there in the bathroom. So this is actually a speedrun strat. We're pointing our flashlight up at the ceiling because there are ghosts that drop down from the ceiling, and doing this minimizes their spawn rate. We've got the Bad Touch brothers here. These white ones aren't too bad, but there are different colors of these later in the game, and they are real annoying. Come on, Key. There you go. Because it's never required. Like, you never have to use the fast travel. You can always just get back here. It's just, you know, really convenient to be able to fast travel to the front of the mansion. Alright, and that's the ballroom. So, we're coming up on the part of the game where they introduce booze as a mechanic. Boos are only catchable in lit rooms, and there are 50, and they are not restricted to one particular room. They can move between rooms, and they're kind of a pain. The Shy Guy ghosts are not happy when you steal their partner. In the speedrun, you would line these up so that you could catch them both at one time. But as established last stream, I'm really bad at lining up multi-hits. And once we clean up all the Shy Guys, our next portrait ghost, the dancing Whirlindas, will spawn in. And those, sort of like Neville, are just a mostly a stay out of their way. I believe there's some aspect of it, the turntables, that can get them to trigger their animation a little quicker. But I've never... Ah! Oh, and there goes my perfect catch. But you're waiting for them to dip. You have to be on the turntable for them to stop being sparkly. Come on. Come on. Not wanting to cooperate. Really, did they go sparkly in the middle of their animation? Just turning. This is one of the slowest fights I've ever had with them. Wow, this is bad. Now here's like why getting the poison mushroom here's a big pain. If you don't rush and get those pearls, they will despawn. Yeah. How's the stream quality been? Got a few normies in here. Yep. Got another bad touch ghost. Stop it. So one thing... Okay, great. I love to hear that. So one thing about this room... is we're about to reveal that this wall to our left is fake. You can see here that it's clearly fake because you can see behind it. That is not true in the original game. That is a side effect of the 16.9 mod. But there in the mirror you can see there's a button, so we tell Luigi to hit the button and it moves. I skipped a couple frames there. That may just be part of it. I'm not seeing skipped frames on my end, and OBS has... I've not looked at it while it's been cranky. I didn't see a stutter, but it might have been. Yeah. And that might be the first time we ever see King Boo. I don't remember him ever appearing in Nintendo lore beforehand. So yeah, so we go back here. EGAD explains to us the booze situation. This is a part of the game that is confusing. Shut up, EGAD. This is part of the game that's confusing if you don't know what's going on. EGAD just sends you back to the mansion and no rooms are unlocked. And you can't do anything. But with the new ability to catch boos, you're expected to go back and catch some. And once you catch 5 of them, EGAD, as if by magic, unlocks a door in the mansion, and I don't know why he can't just do that all the time. But it's a thing that he apparently can do. And boo spawns, as you just saw there, even if you go to the spot where they will ultimately be, if there's a fake out spawn queued up ahead of time, then you have to trigger that first. At least I believe so. I could have that wrong, but I believe that's the case. The only thing out on the balcony is Toad, though there's nothing out there. There are no boos. Since we have cutscenes turned off, we won't see it. But when you catch your 5th boo in the vanilla game, you get a cutscene with EGAD saying, "You've been through a lot. Why don't you go to the washroom and you know, wash your face and try to rest up a little bit." And he then mysteriously and magically unlocks the washroom. Another thing that's annoying about boos is they travel through walls as they are connected in the mansion, not as they are connected in game logic. So it's entirely possible for them to escape into a room you don't have access to. In which case, I think they if it goes on for so long, then if you attempt to catch a boo and it goes on for so long without catching him, I think they relocate to a random spot in the mansion, but they will stay in their original spawn room until you at least attempt to catch them. All right. I like to go ahead and catch as many boos as I can while I can. Yeah, that picture frame is a boo location that's not super obvious. All the boos have fun names that are puns on the word boo. They're pretty great. Like this is Turbo. We saw Game Boo Advance. I know, I love this. I love this model for the boo. It's just timeless to me. But now we can go back through here. I'll go ahead and go into the ballroom and clean up the boos in there since we're passing by. But at 5, you could just continue on. One thing about the game too is there are 50 boos in the game, as you can see down there at the bottom. Catching all 50 gets you one of the most valuable money items in the game, of which there are only 2 in the game. The golden diamond. That was close. But you can beat the game with just 40 boos. Sometimes in rooms like this, it's extra funny because there will be a fake out spawn. A fake out spawn in one of the boxes, but the real boo in the other one. And yes, this is a cheap name because we've already had Game Boo Advance, but this is just Game Boo. I guess it's the older brother.
Mario.
So we'll go get the washroom. And there will be Toad in here, and we just have to talk to Toad. And he tells us he dropped something really important in the toilet. It ends up being a key. Toad is able to exorcise this room magically. I don't know why Egad and Toad need us. They clearly have this situation under control. But for some reason, Luigi insists on saving Mario. I personally don't think it's worth it. But, you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? That's the butler's ghost. Shivers, I think is his name. And we will catch him shortly. This is the fortune teller's room. She is... I need to go back through that door. She is an exposition character. And once she does all of her exposition, then she's the only ghost that wants you to catch her because she's tired and wants peace. This is one of 2 reflection rooms, and they used to freak me out real good as a kid. Now they're just kind of annoying. But the trick is don't pay too much attention to the mirror. Pay attention to the smoke where they spawn in. This is the easier of the 2. The other one's much later in the game. The projection room. Ah, almost got the double. I'm so not used to playing with an Xbox controller. I keep hitting the L button by mistake. Or hitting L3, I mean. Because there is no L3 on the GameCube, so I'm used to just bearing down real hard on the left stick, and you can't do that. Crap, that boo just wanted to run. This is a fire medallion. It's one of 3 elemental medallions in the game that give us the ability to control certain elements. Okay. That was weird. That one had a fake out after the real boo. But we can shoot flames. We can also shoot a fire, or we can shoot like a stronger burst of fire. I I believe in the beta of the game, it was a legitimate fireball. But this spawns a key up here. We're not even gonna bother spawning in Madame Clairvoyant because we need to collect items before we can catch her. So we just unlocked the laundry room, which is an optional room. We have to go through it, but we can go ahead and trigger Shivers here. Because the laundry room has a needed item in it, but we don't actually have to capture all the ghosts. So we can go through. That's a fake door. It's a trap. We can go on in here to the butler's room. And just hang out. Shivers is making his way here to put out the candle because he's scared of fire. And he moves in real time. There we go. So he sits down, puts out his candle, relaxes, and we send him to the great beyond. Now we do actually have to catch Shivers. Nope, poison mushroom, I don't want you. Peekaboo. Really? Okay, and he escaped into the dining room, which we can't get to. That's cool. The boos in this game are something. They are definitely one of the game mechanics of all time. So this is a mechanic that becomes required here shortly, but mouse holes and similar, if you shoot them with your camera, which normally just causes Luigi to say some flavor text, it will trigger the ability to teleport through them. And this is our first introduction to elemental ghosts. Each elemental ghost is weak to a particular element, and it's the classic triangle. Fire beats ice, ice beats water, water beats fire. This room has some interesting sound design, in that you can hear like ghosts murmuring and making creepy noises. It's kind of cool. You would think that lighting the candles would do something. It does not. It's entirely just an interactable object that's there for the heck of it. Lighting candles in a lot of rooms does trigger puzzles Zelda style, but not here. And by going ahead and clearing this room, we get most of the money that should have been hidden. Gems are by far the most valuable items in the game. I forget what their ranking is between Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire, but above those three are Diamond, and then Golden Diamond is the most valuable. Yeah. Um, there are a couple optional rooms in the game. You have to go through almost all of them, but there are some that you can just not complete if you don't want to. This room, like the laundry room, you have to examine the washing machine because there's an item in it that is required for progression. I think it is required for a portrait ghost. Now that I think about it, I might not actually need to get it to beat the game. I don't remember. Rude Pinky. But this room is worth clearing, because anytime there's an optional room, it will still spawn a chest, and those are usually full of lots and lots of money. Boogie. The boo's movement is semi-random, but it's not entirely random. You can bait them. Right. Next should be the dining. No, conservatory. So the conservatory is interesting because to catch that ghost, you have to answer a music puzzle, and it in the vanilla game, that involved identifying one of the classic Mario themes. But in this mod, they actually changed the music puzzle. I don't know if they if it's always the same, but we're about to see. Mario 3. Trying to remember. I want to think it's the sky theme. I might. No, it is the water theme. I second guessed myself. The first time I played this mod, the quiz was Tataka's song. Alright, we'll respawn Melody. Oh, right. He's a picky bitch and won't just let you reactivate the instruments. You have to actually leave the room to reset her state. Yeah, delicate ear for music, blah, 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 blah. It's the same one, so it's the water thing. I'm really bad at identifying where I've heard songs. Like, if I know the title, like if I'm listening on my phone or something and I see the title written there, like I can associate the words with the tune. But just to be like, oh yeah, this was what was playing during whatever level of a video game, I'm terrible at that. So she fires her music sheets at you, so you just suck up the music sheets and then she becomes vulnerable. Go ahead, despawn. Get out of here. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Boomio, hiding in the harp. You're such a romantic. That was an interesting rendering bug because he was going outside of where he was
Oh yeah.
supposed to. His health wasn't going up. Right.
Mario.
How's the stream been? Any more frame drops enough to impede the viewing experience? So Mr. Lugs is an interesting puzzle. This tablecloth is super annoying, so I'll just go ahead and get rid of it. He's the glutton. You light his dinner candles to make him visible, and then you can suck up his food. And then to make him vulnerable, you capture his butlers. Okay. You just keep me apprised, because, like, I want to... You know what? I always thought, like, spaghetti, but I could see fried rice. I'll allow it. And then he gets pissed. Once he's out of food and there's no more refills. But he gets real bad acid reflux. I might have to change that L1 mapping. That's really annoying me. Or L3 mapping. And this goes on for just long enough to be annoying. Poison Mushroom's the scariest boss in the game. Alright. Mr. Lugs is actually also an optional boss. Because the door to the kitchen is just open. But never don't. So the kitchen is where we get our second, always get these because they will like fly off and attack you and they're just annoying, you know. Best to just like get them ahead of time. The solution is the fridge. It's best to open the fridge with the vacuum because the door swings open and will hurt you. hooligan. No, take that. Hey, Vid. Yeah, we've been doing some testing. I realized that I had some router issues. I thought my NIC was having issues, but apparently it was a router configuration issue. Too much interference on my channel, and my router didn't catch it for some reason. I don't know. But since figuring that out, streaming has gone better. Sinclair has only said that stream's been kind of framey a couple times, and I'm streaming at, you know, a pretty high bit rate. Like, I could easily drop the bit rate if I need to for the sake of frame stability. But OBS was very helpfully complaining to me forever that my interface was overloaded. It didn't specify what kind of interface. Everything online said, oh, it's probably your GPU, your renderer is overloading your GPU. To which I saw no evidence of, and figured it was driver funkiness or something. But then when I tried to stream the other day, I noticed that the stream, like OBS going sideways, coincided with high network traffic, and so I finally put 2 and 2 together. This is a very important secret in the game. This bud here, you have to water it in every act after Act 1. It's the only way to get one of the 2 golden diamonds in the game, and if you don't get it, it's impossible to get an S rank. This, you've got to wake him up and then lead him around a little bit, and then I always forget where the actual trigger is. Yeah, there we go. Now Mr. Bones shows up, which gives the ghost dog a ghost bone, and so he's happy, making him vulnerable. Speaking of puppers, how's Rusty doing post-surgery? This is the part where this mechanic becomes mandatory. You have to use it here or you can't progress. You have to interact with some of the graves. Some of them give you health. I believe this one spawns, yeah, these boneheads. Dirt faces. Hey, Put, would you? Thank you. That's the most annoying thing in this game, is when you flash a ghost and they're just like, you know what, nah. So there are those fire stands there. You can get the fire elemental off of them. It's just there for flavor. It's just there because it looks cool. Because now we go up to the grave of Bogmire. He is, I believe, the only portrait ghost, besides King Boo, of course, that's not humanoid. It's not like a person. Or if he was a person, then I don't want to know what happened to him. This fight is always slightly tedious. It can be extremely tedious if my aim is bad. But you suck up his shadows, and then I believe a 2-cycle is possible. It's real hard because his shadows will do that. Alright, that was about as good of a Bogmire as you can reasonably hope. So this will give us our club's key to open up area 3. Back in the lab. Thank you, thank you. Dancing Whirlwindas looked like they were in a gold frame, so it might have given me the gold rank since they broke away while still at 100. Mr. Lugs, Melody Pianissima, Spooky and Shivers, and Bogmire. And I'm gonna call it here, but I usually at this point like to go ahead and go water the flower again and then save. I am showing a few dropped frames. Not too terrible, but a few. Like 2 seconds worth of dropped frames, which is kind of hard to complain about. Like, I feel like streamers who are way more professional than me, like, have that level of frame drop and it be acceptable. So yeah, all of these are fully realized 3D rooms. There's decorations and everything that are completely outside your normal view unless you pull out the camera, which does come into play. There are like the whole mirror trick where you can use it to teleport. There is at least one. There may be more than one that I'm not thinking of. Mirrors hidden on the transparent wall. That you can use, but you wouldn't know they were there unless you took the time to look around the room. All right. So that's area 2 wrapped up. Not sure what stream schedule is going to be. I might jump back on tomorrow. I don't have a whole lot on the schedule. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping me apprised of the stream quality. I'm glad it was mostly good. I may go ahead and drop the bit rate just a little bit, just for some insurance, because it's set pretty high, and I know we can drop it a little bit without really losing a whole lot. So I'll go ahead and do that, just see if that helps in the future. But I'm glad that things are mostly running the way that they're supposed to. But anyway, take care. Enjoy your the rest of your Saturdays and your Sundays, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care.